Traffic, sponsored by Ron Bonin Law. Call Ron Bo today.
After a nearly week-long manhunt, the suspected gunman in the Brown University shootings has been found dead. He's identified as 48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a former physics student at Brown. Joining us live now from Providence City Hall, Providence Mayor Brett Smiley with the latest developments. Thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us. I know you had a late night, long week, so we appreciate your time. Let's go back to 5 days ago. Right around this time, you went on the air saying Providence should breathe a sigh of relief when we thought we had a person of interest in custody. Turned out not to be the case, and obviously a lot has happened since then. What is your message to the people of your city at 6:44 now on this Friday morning?
Listen, Mario, there's nothing about this situation. Everything about this situation is tragic, but at least we now know there is a definitive end to it. Our suspect took his own life sometime this week in New Hampshire, and it's clear that the active threat from the incident has come to conclusion, and so now we can start the healing process as a community. I think, as Rhode Islanders, residents in Providence, we just never thought it could happen here, and so it has really shaken this community up. But we will overcome it. We will start to put our lives back together, and I know this community. I trust this community's ability to support one another, to be there for one another, and that's what we need to do now.
Obviously, a lot of agencies involved in this investigation, a very collaborative effort, but Providence Police was always the lead all the way through. Are you satisfied with how your police chief and the city department handled this? Anything you think could have, should have been done differently?
So first of all, I'm extraordinarily proud of the Providence Police, both Chief Perez and the men and women in the department. Major LePayton, the entire detective squad, the Real-Time Crime Center, which we announced just 6 months ago, came in hugely advantageously and helpful throughout this whole process. The residents of Providence should be so proud, and frankly, we owe a debt of gratitude to them. This was one of the most complex investigations. You heard it from the FBI tonight. This is not FBI Rhode Island. That this is one of the hardest cases they've worked, and their local police department did the lion's share of the investigative work that cracked this thing open. And so I'm very satisfied with them. That doesn't mean that we're not going to look back at this and decide what could we have done better, how can we make our community safer. And so in the days and weeks to come, we will do a thorough after-action review. We'll look for things that we could do in the future to do even better. We're always looking to do better, but I'm extraordinarily satisfied and proud of this police department.
A lot of focus has been on the camera situation in that building at Brown, the security measures that were in place at the time. Have you had conversations with President Paxton and the university, or do you plan to, about the university's security situation, their security measures and their cameras, and moving forward, how to prevent this from happening again?
Yeah, President Paxton has said the same thing, which is, over the last 4 days, the focus was on bringing the individual responsible to justice. There's still funerals that haven't taken place. There's a funeral taking place today for one of the victims. Brown will also be doing an after-action review and thinking about security enhancements, and that's their decision to make. If they want or need our assistance, we're there for them. But for those of us who know the city and how this happened, I do think there's still a little bit of an unfair standard that Brown is being held to. The minute that this individual walked out of Barris and Holly, they were on a neighborhood sidewalk. And from the caution and care that this individual put into committing this crime, now that we know a little bit more about how much effort he took into put into not being caught, it's possible he knew that as well, and that's why the community's support was so critical. The pieces of the puzzle that brought us to conclusion here was neighborhood camera, was individual residences, ring cameras and such. It's part of the reason it took a couple days, but it's also one of the things that we're so grateful for the community about. We had residents who had the FBI in their living room for hours going through film, looking at tapes, and that's what helped us so much. So I also want to thank those residents as well for the sacrifice that they made, the vulnerability that they opened themselves up to by providing information. And it really wasn't Brown cameras that would have maybe moved the needle on this. It was because of the neighborhood.
All right, Providence Mayor Brett Smiley live from Providence City Hall on this Friday morning. Thank you so much for your time.